line. We have Eliman now, Eliman Damble, co-founder of Savior AI, to have this conversation with us. Hi, Eliman. Good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Oh, good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Great. So we see Ghana is upping its game, and they say regulation of cryptocurrency will start by September. It does seem there's more realization of the value in cryptocurrency, even though there's still a lot of skepticism.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think generally, in terms of governments, of course, we saw El Salvador, of course, taking an early position of buying a lot of crypto for its reserves. But I think when we saw President Trump essentially campaigning on crypto regulation, being pro crypto last autumn, you are seeing a lot of governments globally starting to follow that narrative as well. So, situation with Ghana, and again, I think a lot of nations will start to move to integrating crypto regulation into their respective administrations.
Yeah, you mentioned El Salvador there. It seems like the IMF, the World Bank still need a lot of convincing, because I think it's one of the requirements from IMF that made El Salvador switch from making Bitcoin a major currency in their country.
Yeah, I think in general, in terms of the IMF, the World Bank, of course, traditionally they are going to be more skewed towards traditional finance. So in terms of use cases, or countries like El Salvador, there is going to be some resistance to governments trying to move away from fiat monetary systems. So I think it's more, again, somewhat of a, I wouldn't say a conflict of interest, but difference of opinions, basically.
Element. So what's going on in the market now? A bit of stability we see following the, I don't know if to call it pause or talks, even though China has said they're not having talks with the US. The US is saying, oh, there are talks and negotiations going on. But isn't there a bit of calm now in the markets?
Absolutely. I remember the last time we spoke, everything was going wrong in the markets. We saw the S&P falling to multi-year lows. Gold was at record highs. The tides have somewhat turned, but pretty much what we said last time still remains. So in terms of, if you're looking at Bitcoin, of course, up close to 10% in the last week, pretty much just around 95K at the moment. And I still think there's an opportunity for it to hit 100K in the next week or so. And I think, again, the markets are starting to tune out the noise. Now it's come to a point where there isn't any real significant news coming out which is impacting the markets. We've already heard the rhetoric. We know everyone's positions. Now I think traders are just focused on taking those opportunities.
So what are investors doing now in the crypto community? What moves? Is it long? Is it short? Is it a hold? What's going on?
Yeah, again, so with Bitcoin, if we're looking at the relative strength index in terms of buyer momentum, buyer volume, at the moment it is tracking at around 58, which in the grand scheme of things is relatively overbought, but based on the current volatility is somewhat in the middle. So I think if it does breach that 60 level, which again, it's literally on the cusp of breaking 60, I do believe we will see a real rise in bullish activity to 100K for Bitcoin.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that. Eliman Damble, co-founder, Savior AI. Thank you so much for your views.
Cheers. Thank you so much.